Oh my,
Go.
here we are, my wonderful friends. It is Monday. It is 1:15 where we are. And Joanne, what time is it where you are?
It is 7:21
In the
in the morning.
morning. But so we're halfway through our Monday round here. Dee and I have already partaken of an hour and a half of co-working this morning because we all need company to get stuff done. Um, And so this session today is our opportunity to pick the brains of the wonderful tutor coach, Joanne Kaminsky, who really focuses, and Joanne, you don't know this, but I get your emails all the time. I'm on all your newsletters and all your mailing lists, and I'm always hearing, Joanne could make my life easier and help me to have more students. So the theme for today's session is LinkedIn. LinkedIn as the new business card, and are you doing it right? Now, Dee and I don't really like to do things right. We like to do things in the way that work for us. So you'll have to excuse us if we ask you all the questions, but really we want to learn what it is that you teach your community members because there's so much wisdom out here. So with that, and I'm not promising I'm not going to interrupt. Let's go.
You can interrupt at any point in time. I think the biggest point here with what it is that I do to be able to help other tutors is I'm just going to kind of start with a personal story here because when I first got started, I tried to look at other companies to be able to work for when I started my tutoring business. Because my husband suggested it. He said, if you want to start your own tutoring business, start work for a company because you'll learn a lot. And I thought, okay, I'm going to follow your advice. And so I really trust him and I look up to him, but it wasn't good advice. And I found out that I would be able to make $15 an hour if I worked for Sylvan. And honestly, I was not up for that. I was like, absolutely, I know my worth, and that is not my worth. And then I began looking at other companies and they didn't even list what I tutored, which was helping kids that are struggling with reading. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. I know he said to do this, but you know what? I'm going to go with my gut on this one. And my gut is saying to do this on my own because I was really frustrated that there were companies out there that were charging, 50 or $100 an hour or $150 an hour and paying the tutor $15 an hour. I just felt like there is something wrong with this formula. It's not right. It is taking advantage of a group of people. And so I decided at that point in time, I had already joined a whole bunch of other things in my life that totally did not succeed at. I say I failed at 5 businesses, but actually I learned a lot of lessons from those businesses and they gave me everything that I needed to be able to learn, to be able to grow my tutoring business on my own. And what I learned was search engine optimization, which is organic marketing because there's lots of ways that again people can take advantage of us and we don't know what we're doing in the marketing space. And so when people tell us that we can do Facebook ads and we can get students, we fall hook line sinker. We're like, oh, that sounds easy, let's do that, right? But then we don't realize I have to have a funnel that's working in order to be able to get those students using Facebook ads. I have to be willing to invest enough time and enough money in order to really get that figured out. And a lot of tutors don't want to spend that money because it's scary. It's very scary. It feels like you're taking a gamble. And so I thought, well, Joanne, you've already mastered SEO for yourself. Possibly you could begin teaching organic marketing to other people and how to do that. And that's where I came from with this. And LinkedIn is so important, you guys, because we a lot of people think about when you think about like online, Google is like storing all the information out there, right? Like really Google is the conglomerate out there. A lot of us still go to Google as our first stop of where do I go if I need something? And we open up Google and we type something on in. Did you guys know that when people type something on in, they might actually be typing in your name? A lot of people don't realize this, but they actually will be typing in your name. There's a few reasons why they will type in your name. And the reason why they're going to type in your name is because A, somebody is referring you and they want to learn more about you, or they want to be able to get in touch with you, but they don't know how. That person didn't really give them details on how to do that. So they'll actually type in your name and they'll probably put tutor right after it because they don't know what else to put. it doesn't matter if you're a reading tutor, calculus tutor, they're just going to put tutor after it. So they'll write in Joanne Kaminsky tutor. So I'm going to have you guys do an activity right now. I want you to type in your name and type tutor into Google. And I want you to tell me
Right
what comes
now.
up right now. What
Okay.
comes up when
Do I
you do
need to do
that?
this on an incognito?
No, you don't have
Okay.
to do it on incognito. You could if you wanted. Now, the reason why she's asking incognito is because obviously Google knows who I am, but you're going to still get to see the same exact thing, right? That incognito is going to show you regardless. But just type that on in, and I want you to tell me what pops up on that first page.
Oh my gosh. I can show you.
Okay, let's see.
Wow. I've never done this before. This scares me. So I get Andrea Gadsby's face, which is much prettier than mine, so I'm fine with that. I'm not sure why I get Andrea
Well, wait,
Gadsby.
wait. What's number one? What? Wait, wait. You just almost flipped through. What is number one? What is
Oh,
the number one
LinkedIn.
search?
Yes.
Ah, you never knew that, did you?
No.
So this is why LinkedIn is so important, you guys, because when people are going to type in your name, this is what's going to pop on up. So if we don't have an
Yeah.
optimized LinkedIn
Oh, hold on.
profile,
Interesting. Hold
yeah.
My
on.
my top hit, my first hit is the qualified tutor directory,
And then LinkedIn.
and then LinkedIn.
Right.
That's awesome. Awesome.
People
Well,
on
on the
LinkedIn,
first
you heard
page,
it here
D,
first.
on the first page, D, does your LinkedIn come on up at all? So just the
Yes,
first
second.
page, like the first 10.
Second, Joanne. Second.
Second,
Yeah, so my
second.
first is qualified tutor directory. Second is my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. So this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect because this is why we need to optimize our LinkedIn profile, right? Like, and a lot of people, they don't realize that tutors go into this and they have no idea. They're like, nobody is going to search me by name. And I'm going to give you a case example here because yes, they will. A, parents, once they even run into like your website or your information, want to research you. They want to check out your qualifications. They want to check out, more about you. And if LinkedIn is going to be the very first thing that's going to pop on up, shouldn't we optimize it, right? That is the reason why we want to be able to do that. And you guys, I'm going to share with you some simple ways that you are going to be able to make that happen so that you can make sure that your LinkedIn is optimized. Now, I know, Julia, you have a very optimized LinkedIn, so you can kind of check yours out. There are the rules that I'm going to give you, like right now, are not like they're not hard, steadfast rules. Okay. They're suggestions for people who have no clue what to put onto their page. And I want to make that really clear because if you have already done this and optimized your page, I'm not saying that you did it wrong. So I'm starting with a person who they just discovered that their LinkedIn is coming on up, but they haven't optimized their profile yet. And therefore, they need to optimize it. And what do they need to have in place? If you have different things in place than the things that I suggest and you like what you have, keep it. If you don't like what you have, you may take my suggestions. This is your business at the end of the day. Okay. You want to come off the way you want to present yourself, not the way Joanne says that you should or you have to come off, because that's never the way that I come from my suggestions that I offer for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you really quick here. And
We very much appreciate that approach, Joanne. Thank you. And also, you should know that I am also
what's that?
messaging inside LinkedIn and inside the QT community as you're talking. So doing my best to bring people in.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I am going to Oh, the first thing I want you guys, I have a little activity for you. You can find out what is your social selling index. So this is how you know if you have like a fully optimized website, LinkedIn profile or not. This is something that's going to improve over time. And so don't feel like whatever you see as a number is terrible for you. Um, but your SSI means social selling index. So it's LinkedIn's way of grading how effectively you're using their platform to build your brand and foster those meaningful relationships. It's scored out of 100, and it breaks it down into 4 categories. First, you establish your professional brand. And that is all about how well do you present yourself on LinkedIn. A stellar profile with professional photo, detailed descriptions, and showcasing your achievements is going to tell the world, hey, I know my stuff. I have a QR code so that you can just like click on that with your phone and be able to find out what is your social selling index. Uh, Finding the right people. LinkedIn is, a huge, vast sea of professionals. And this part of the score measures how adept you are at finding and connecting the right individuals. It's not about the number of connections, but the quality and relevance of those connections to your business and your career goals. And then you want to be able to engage with insights. So here's where sharing and interacting with content is going to come into play. By posting insightful articles, commenting on others' posts, and engaging in meaningful conversations, you're going to demonstrate your expertise and interest in your field, and then build relationships. So the final piece is about taking those connections and interactions to the next level. It's one thing to connect with someone, it's another to build a relationship through regular, meaningful interactions that brings value to both parties. So, why does your SSI score matter? I want you to think of it as your online networking skill level. A high SSI score means you're effectively branding yourself, finding and connecting with the right people, sharing valuable insights, and building strong professional relationships. It's not only going to boost your visibility on LinkedIn, but it also positions you as an authority in your field, opening doors to opportunities, collaborations that you might not have found otherwise. So, did you find out what your SSI score was?
I'm struggling because it doesn't seem to be free.
Oh,
Is it-
there's a button
I've
on
gone,
there
I've
that
gone, I've
will.
gone in, I've gone in, and it said I can try for a month for free,
Oh, did they
but I've got to.
do something weird on there?
Yeah,
So I'm going to put in.
Dee and I don't dare agree to 69.99 because we don't
No,
trust
I don't
ourselves to
either.
calculate.
No, no, no. I don't
70,
either. No, I totally won't. I
79.99.
wouldn't either. So when I
But you're
click
right.
on here
Last
to
time
get
I
my,
did this, it didn't
I
charge.
just ended up, I just ended up putting SSI LinkedIn search to see what comes on up here. They will
But
try to sell
Bing
me
is a bit
on the
of a
thing,
worry,
but you
isn't it?
should. Okay, so you want to go to the get your score here when you land
Okay,
here.
interesting.
Ah,
So
We
get
both
your
pressed the
score.
free button. Okay. Okay.
oh, it
All
sent me a
right, what's your
code.
number?
It sent me a code. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to see?
What'd you get?
Okay. I've been avoiding social media recently, so I'm
Oh,
surprised it's still talking to me.
mine's better than I thought it would be.
What's yours, Dee? Do you want to show yours? Stop sharing.
42.
Okay, show us yours,
Great.
Dee.
I've done it on my
I have
phone.
a, I would say like when I do this with other tutors, a lot of times it's like 29 or 30. So those of you that are above that, you're doing well. You're present, you're on there. That's fantastic. But there's always room for improvement, right? And I think that's really the big piece of that is there's always room for improvement. Even
Joanne, hold
even
on a
my
second.
score is not
Let's
there.
see if
Yeah.
Claire's done hers. Claire, are you with us? You just listening in? Were you able to check your SSI? Okay, I'll put it in the community. Keep going.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so I think this is just a great just overview of okay, this is LinkedIn's belief on where you're at, right? Mean, this isn't something to judge yourself by. It's just, is there room for improvement and where is that room for improvement? So for me, it's showing me that my room for improvement is in establishing my professional brand, in finding the right people and engaging with the insights. Those are the two things that I need to continue if I want to continue to improve my brand. But I'm going to share with you even more awesome stuff on how can we do that. And it all starts with really setting up that professional profile. So here we go. This was Millie. Millie was at a 35, and she actually was really excited because she went from a 35 to a 42 in just 2 weeks. So
It sounds a little
really,
bit like the opposite of Weight Watchers.
right, because you always want to go down. But here, our goal is to go up. Here's Dina Schmid. She had gone from a 55 to a 58. So taking these actions really does kind of help. I'm going to skip the history of LinkedIn because I don't think a lot of you guys need to know that, but there are 800 million members worldwide, and it is
That last point is
277%
interesting.
more effective for lead generation than Facebook and Twitter. So
Does it
it is a
matter
great
which
place.
industry?
I think it can. I think it depends on how you're going on in it. So what I have found is first I want to optimize it for my students that and parents that are going to find me for my tutoring business. And then second, I want to optimize it so that I'm connecting with other tutors. That's how I particularly use it. Unless I'm working with high school students and college level students who I know that my ideal client really is in LinkedIn. Um, a lot of times a parent isn't going to go, I don't think, to LinkedIn to find a reading tutor. But if they're searching my name, we already saw the importance of them being
Uh-huh.
able to research me. And
Yeah.
therefore, I need to show that I have all of my information there, all of my credentials. This just allows me to
Ah,
pass that test of, is this a real person? People are scared of getting scammed. So I need to show that I'm a real person. I need to show what my credentials are. I need to, you know, have a few posts on there that show that, I'm kind of active on this platform. It doesn't mean I have to be super active on this platform, right? That doesn't have to
yeah.
be the goal for me and my business. But what I have found inside of our community, what we actually do is on Tuesdays, we have a LinkedIn post party. So every Tuesday to help the LinkedIn algorithm to get our posts out there more in front of other people, we are posting what we create in our community called core content. And our core content is the right content to be created. And then on top of that, you then have social proof because a lot of us then are um, we're commenting. But here's what's really happening inside of our community, Julia, that's really fun. We're actually getting to know each other more
Yeah.
through our posts because the core content is all about the things that we teach. So
Yeah.
our core content is like the 10 frequently asked questions that that parents ask. It's the 10 frequently asked questions they should be asking. It's sharing the results and the stories and case studies of our students. Uh it's taking a look at the myths and objectives as to why people wouldn't want to hire us or what people believe specifically about our industry. So we've actually been able to learn a lot about each other through sharing each other's content and commenting on the content so that we can get referred by more people inside of our community. So
I'm
it
thinking
is working
about
for us to get students.
it's beautiful. It's really, really lovely. And I think your point about and we get to know each other gave me goosebumps because you and I got to know each other through LinkedIn and the silos that tutors used to be working in are all being
Yeah,
reduced because of this thing, social media, that I have been mixed feelings about. But
yeah,
I really take your point that we can be smart about it. You also made me think about so that you use the phrase in our title for this session of LinkedIn as a business card. And that
mhm,
makes a lot of sense to me because you're saying that when a parent wants to check out that you're real, they check your business card. So whereas we did a session with the awesome Emma Harper recently who was talking about Facebook, and she described Facebook as a shop window. And you're describing LinkedIn as a business card. And I think that's an interesting parallel comparison.
yeah. Well, and watch this. I'm going to show you something
Come
that's
on.
so cool. All right. So if you go inside, I'm going to log into my LinkedIn.
This is really fun.
If I log into my LinkedIn, and let's say I'm on my phone, right? I'm going to see if the same thing happens on my computer. If not, I'll open it up on my phone. But there is actually a button inside of LinkedIn that shares, like I just push the one button. Let me see if it happens. It doesn't look like it happens. I'm going to go to, okay, so I'm going to go to on my phone because this is where it really does turn into a business card. Because I'm just going to share my phone. So I'm going to do a stop share here. And this is going to be the wonkiest share I've ever done with you guys. All right, so I opened up LinkedIn. Here's my LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's a little blurry, but I'm going to hit on the search part. All right. Do you see this little box that now just came up over here?
Yeah, we use this.
Yeah.
D, have
There
you
you
got
go.
it?
There's your business card.
Claire, have you got it? Odette uses this all the time.
There
Oh
you go.
my
That really,
goodness.
it really is your business card, right?
Yeah.
Because you click on that and now you can connect with the person on LinkedIn. You have all their information on there and you can continue any conversation that you had started anywhere in your life. So even if I'm in, in public or I'm at a networking event or whatever the case may be, here we go. They are
It
now
also
literally connected to you.
it also looks really smart, right? It does. It looks like that you know how to do stuff. To put it really simply. Whereas when I'm rummaging in my wallet for the last of my business cards that I printed 3 years ago, this is so much cooler.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, with the whole business card thing, I tell all of the people inside of my community, do not make business cards. A, your information is going to change. So you buy the first set of business cards, you create your website. Maybe you went free because you're like, nah, I'm not going to pay to get my own like URL at this point in time. And then you decide you realize, no, I really do need to get my own URL. And now you've changed it. And now all of your business cards have to change. But not only that, but it's also less personable. If I'm in a conversation with a parent, if I'm in a conversation with them, the best thing that I can do is get their information and get back with them. There is no way in a million years they are going to use that business card to actually follow up and take action. That is why, like 90% of the people you give a business card to, it feels like it's wasted energy. So if you really want to connect with
Fantastic.
somebody for a business reason, I mean, LinkedIn is your place to go because it's already there. You don't have to waste any money on those stupid business cards.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
D.
Because my
Yeah.
husband carries around some of my business cards and he has on occasions handed them out. So is there a way that he can share my LinkedIn QR code?
Here's the thing. This would be my suggestion. If the people are really interested in your services, could he collect their email or their phone number for you to get back in touch with them?
That would not end well.
So, how many of the business cards have turned into an actual student from your
Uh,
husband?
well, he's only handed out two as far as I know.
But how well has it worked? That's where the money is, okay? So if it's not working, do you continue to have him do an action that doesn't work because he feels more comfortable?
We did start off by talking about husbands, Joanne. It could be that we just let him do it because it pleases him. But of course,
Sure.
go ahead, go ahead. I interrupted you,
Yeah,
please.
I mean,
No,
he feels like he's helped. I mean, it was a conversation with his when he went to have his fortnightly beard trim, and one of the other ladies mentioned about his daughter needing some help with GCSEs. So I think he tried to give her just my email, and because he didn't have a business card, and then when he went in the next day, he actually gave her a business card. I think she's actually found. I think she's that the help has been sorted now. As it is, I don't have any availability after school for the UK stuff anyway. But he felt like he was helping me.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And again, this is Joanne's going to give advice. I'm going to lead you down one path, and then everybody has to seek their intuition and their gut to determine what is the right path for them. Because I think everybody gives advice with their best intention in place, but there is another power in place, and that is our higher power. And that higher power, whether you believe in God, spirit, universe, angels, whatever you call it, they are your true guide. And we need to listen to them with the information that we're receiving, because how much information are we receiving online that may or may not be helpful for us? Every day, we have to make the decision, am I going to follow that or am I not going to follow? Does that make us a good person or a bad person? Absolutely not. We are being led on the path that we need to take, and we need to listen to what that path is for us. But we also, like, if this were you and you're like, no, I'm going to keep handing out business cards, I would say, well, then I would like you to track it. I want you to track how many business cards that you hand out. And then I want you to track how are people finding you. Because we want to put our actions in the right place. We only want to focus on those actions that are going to be income producing actions. The income producing actions are ones that actually get us clients. And sometimes we have to get out of our own head and our own mindset and be open to learning in order to find some of those new ways that will work for us.
So beautiful. Goosebumps.
All right, let's keep sharing here. See that's my I'm getting my screens ready song.
There you go. She has one.
So we talked about there are different leads that you're going to find on. We have business to business. That's business to business is a business that's selling to another business, and that really, when I think about business to business, I think about my business talking to other tutors is business to business because they're going to refer me for my services. So I can use this for business to business. It's also business to customer. So if my ideal client is on there, then I am going to be able to really connect with them using this tool. Again, this is for the older students. Maybe they are in college level or they're adults. So if those are the students that I'm working with, there is a possibility they'll be on LinkedIn because their college professor, their university professor has told them, you need to be on LinkedIn. So they'll be on LinkedIn because they're being told to. And then job opportunities is another reason that people come on inside of here. There are 3 stages to a customer being able to move forward with us, and a lot of us are not aware of this. We think they come to our website, boom, they're going to hire us because we're amazing. That would be wonderful if that were the reality, but that's not what happens. The first step is awareness. Now, some of these, they can be at any point of these when they come and find your website or find your LinkedIn, right? Awareness is are they problem aware or are they solution aware? They already might be solution aware, right? Because they know you're the solution and they've heard about you, and so they're ready to make a decision. Then there is, are they problem unaware? Are they unaware that there's a problem? Like some people are not aware that there is even a problem. So this is where content over time can help them understand what the real problems are, or things to look for in their child to know if they're struggling, or questions to ask their child just to find out and engage. Are they struggling? What are the conversations I should be having with them so that I know, do I need to get you help so that you can be successful? The next part is consideration. And this is where we get to win their hearts. We get to win their hearts with our content. We get to win our hearts with them just finding us all over the place, right? And just being everywhere. This is our chance to showcase our expertise, share testimonials, and really shine. When we are taking the time to share those testimonials and be able to share our expertise, This makes them fall even more in love with us and the idea of moving forward with us. And then we have our last section, which is decision. And we need to have a clear call to action for them to do something. This in this customer journey, it is if it's a free consultation that you do, or if it is a free assessment that you do, whatever is the next step that you want them to take, you want them to know what the next step is. Because a lot of people will be like, now what? So I found this great information, now what? So I want to have those pieces on my LinkedIn profile so they know what the now what is. So I want you to think about the importance of a complete and engaging profile for lead generation. This is your digital handshake. All right. And it's the first impression that you're going to make in the vast online networking event world that is LinkedIn. But here's the kicker. You're not just shaking hands with one person. You potentially are reaching out to thousands. A complete and engaging profile doesn't say, hi, here. It says, hi, I'm here and I am exactly who you have been looking for. So why does a complete profile is kind of like a puzzle with all the pieces perfectly in place? Because LinkedIn itself says that users with complete profiles are 40 times more likely to receive opportunities. Why? Because each section of your profile adds more color, adds more depth and context to your professional story. It's not just about listing your experiences. It's about showcasing your journey, your skills, and your unique value. And engagement is the secret sauce. It's not all about me at the end of the day. It's about meeting other people. So having all the pieces isn't just enough if you're not telling an engaging story. An engaging profile speaks directly to your ideal clients or connections. It answers their questions before they're even asked of them. It showcases your achievements and specialties in a way that resonates with their needs and challenges. And most importantly, it makes them want to reach out and learn more. And that's what we're going for with our profile. And so the very first piece that I am going to suggest that we all have and we put into place is a professional photo. Okay. Choose a clear professional headshot. Ensure that the background is not distracting. So you also want to make sure that your smile shows that you're approachable, right? That people can actually like reach out to you and they want to reach out to you. So let's take a look at some professional headshots. I want you guys to share with me, what do you notice about these headshots?
They're all smiling.
Yes. Well, it's not, but it still shows
Well,
like who he is, right?
Sort
So
of, but that one is problematic to me because I can't see his eyes also.
yeah,
yeah, me too.
yeah. What else do you notice? I'm noticing something that is like the same with all three of them.
They're filling the whole
Yeah,
window.
it's like here and up, right?
It's a headshot.
It's a headshot. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that
No,
and
absolutely.
don't do
Sometimes you
that.
see people, you see, a gorgeous picture of somebody in a landscape, but
Hmm.
it doesn't do the job.
Hmm.
I just wanted to share with you, Joanne, that we have had a question come in from Raven Cantrell, who's a
Yeah.
homeschooling teacher, a devoted homeschooling teacher. She's asking on LinkedIn, how are you deciding about the content you post? So it'd be really
Oh,
nice.
that is a great question. And if we have time today, we'll get on to that. But inside of my community, we teach about what's called core content. And so the core content includes the 10 frequently asked questions that parents ask, the 10 frequently asked questions they should ask, the
It's a great
five
question, and
myths. If we have time today, we'll get on to that. But oops, there we go. The five myths that people believe about what it is that you teach, the objections that people have about moving forward with you, and case studies. So that is the core content that we end up sharing when we are on site of here. I'm going to have you guys take a look at the non-professional photos here.
Ah,
Uh, what do you notice?
people's kids, very cute, but it doesn't do the trick.
No. I almost feel like even though like this is pretty, the flower, It tells me nothing about that person. It doesn't show their professional side, except I'm scared to put my face on there.
People buy from people.
You have people posing with people.
No, no. Do you say it again?
What
People buy from people. They want to see
buy
you.
from people? Right, right, exactly, exactly.
Okay, and then these two on the right then. So we can say that the one on the one with the flower doesn't do the trick because people can't buy from people. The one with the children tells me that you care about children. Might tell me that you're a parent, but it doesn't tell me who you are. Um, the one at the top in the middle tells me that you have a friend.
That you like to party with.
Yeah, and the one at the bottom tells me it was Christmas once. The two the two on the right, I find it's interesting to unpack because we see many tutors start out with photos like this, where really it's a bigger photo that was cropped. It was the only time that you were dressed formally, or it was a good holiday. I don't know, like those are the two that I find interesting to unpack in this context.
Yes, because look at the lighting.
Mm,
The
mm.
lighting, I mean, the guy on the top is dressed for success. Great. But I can tell that he didn't take the time to get a professional headshot. He thought somebody could take a photo of him and that would be good enough. And it could be, it's better than the others, but
Okay.
it could still be better, right? Like, I mean, there's
Yeah.
a big, clear difference between that and this.
Well, you know what? When you flick from one to the other, I would happily pay these people more than I would pay the guy on the next slide. I would
And why is that?
expect to pay more
Why?
because they are communicating their uh, professional, uh, they're looking premium. These photos look premium.
Mhm. And we don't really take that into consideration when we look at our headshot. A lot of
No,
times
and
we are really at the end of the day, we are not realizing what we're communicating through our headshot.
I have a classic story about this that when I applied for halls, I put in a very, very sad photo of myself for accommodation in the first year at university. And I looked around when I got there and I was like, oh, that's why you're supposed to put a good photo in. I really was in a very, very not located in a nice place. And you never would have thought that people are so superficial. But the point of a photo is to communicate.
Right. And so if you were to go in for a job interview, would you go with your shorts on, t-shirt, and just a
Well,
happy smile?
not unless I was applying to be a camp counselor.
Right.
So
Right.
this
And
girl on the
so
right,
and you're not going to pay a camp counselor as much as you're going to pay professional tutor.
that's right. So this girl on the right, I would employ her, but I wouldn't expect to pay her as much as I would. And sometimes I would rather employ her than the people on this slide before because she looks like the I'm not looking for somebody who's a premium. I'm looking for somebody who's accessible, let's say.
Sure. So if that's part of your brand, then go for it. But there's always a way to level up.
Yeah.
There's always a way to level up. And
Would
even
you
that person could be charging more for her tutoring services than she even believes she's capable of.
could she take that photo and put it on Canva and improve it?
Sure. I still would not be wearing the t-shirt. I would find a different photo for sure. Um,
Right.
and yes. So one of the things you can do is you can remove the background and just add like a plain white background. That's
And
the the
Canva
the
is really easy.
simplest way to be able to do that. But the
Yeah.
other things I want you to take a look at though, it's still the lighting.
Mm,
So if we take a look at her face compared to the lighting on the page before,
it's
what do you notice
remarkable.
about the lighting? It's remarkably different.
Yeah.
So there's only so much that Canva is going to be able to do. Could I take that and make it better inside? Yes, but I would still suggest spend the $100 and get, well, you guys are in the UK, but get a professional headshot. It
What does
doesn't
that
cost
mean?
that much money.
How would you find a professional photographer to do headshots for $100?
Yeah, you guys have, I know you don't have Thumbtack. You have, what are those websites that you can go to where people are freelancers and you
Upworks,
can
Fiverr,
Upwork? Good.
Bar,
Yeah.
yeah, or any of those. Okay, great, great. And also on LinkedIn or Facebook. And I know that there are some people who advertise that they do professional photos online. Have you ever seen that work?
You don't have the right lighting. I'm not sure how it could work, or I mean,
I
maybe they're
definitely
really
don't have
good
that
at.
right LinkedIn. Yeah.
I don't know. And then the other one people will say is, well, there's now an AI that will do a professional headshot for you. They don't look like you. They take a bunch of photos like you, and then they put you in fancy clothes, but then the photo doesn't look like you. So then when I have met the people who have done that, I can always tell because I'll actually ask them when I meet them on a Zoom call, I'll be like, okay, quick question. How
It's
did
also
you get your professional photo? I'm like, your your photo looks very different from who you what you look like. How did you go about creating it? They're like,
right.
hi, every single time. They're like, oh, there's this AI tool. I paid 25 bucks for it, and I was able to get my photo. I was like, but it doesn't look like you.
And
And one lady goes, my grandmother said it looked like me. Like,
and and when we go back to that idea that Dee said about people buy from people, when your photo is AI'd, it just communicates a lack of trust. And we know that
right,
trust underpins everything. If you're not real in the way that you show up, how can a parent trust you with a child?
right. It really does communicate a lot. It
It really
communicates a
does.
lot.
This
All
was
right, so
really helpful. Yeah.
the next is crafting that perfect heading. Again, you may have the perfect heading already, okay? But if you don't have the perfect heading, here's how you can create it. You're going to
Nice.
start with a compelling adjective that describes
Dee, are
your
you doing
approach
it?
or your personality. This is going to set the tone and it's going to make your headline more engaging. Clearly state what you do. This could be your official job title or the role that best describes what you do. Highlight your unique value proposition or area of specialty. This is going to tell your audience what makes you different from others in your field. And then specify who you help or the outcomes that you provide. This is going to ensure that your headline speaks directly to your ideal clients or audience. For example, I might have enthusiastic math tutor specializing in algebra for high school students. It could be creative writing coach, empowering aspiring authors to publish their first book, or
Dee, you want to have a go?
dedicated ESL instructor. Yeah, you want to go for it, Dee?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I would probably start with either enthusiastic or empathetic
Nice.
maths
Right,
tutor, specializing in building confidence and something in secondary students, something like that.
great. And if we were working together, I would suggest something then confidence because every single tutor in the history of tutors will say they build confidence. It is the first thing we go to. It's like our comfort zone. It doesn't make us stick out as unique. So we want to think about
Something else
like,
that's popped into my
how do you
head
do it?
is empowering secondary students to become independent learners, something like that.
So do you tutor everything?
Oh, there's the maths.
Right. So you want to add the maths in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be empathetic maths tutor. And then what makes you special? What do you do? How do you do it? What way do you do it? What makes you stand out as unique?
It's the
What's different
self-belief
about
I
you?
give. It's the self-belief I give to my students.
Hmm. So, how do you do that? How do you give them self-belief? Have you practiced NLP? Have you practiced something specific that has brought you to be an expert in that field? of
Well, I mean,
increasing their success?
I'm bringing my coaching skills into that as well as developing them academically. I'm using my coaching skills to, and once they have the self-belief, the academics kind of fall into place.
Yes. And so what did you go through a specific coaching program to learn those skills, or is it something that you've developed on your own?
Now I enrolled on a coaching diploma. So
Great.
I am what's the I've even forgotten the organization that in as anyway, yes.
So
Ah,
empathetic math tutoring that uses, if you have that like specific name of that coaching program that you utilized, I'm just going to throw like NLP certified to help students overcome their doubts in their own success or able to get some kind of specific goal that they're trying to reach.
Would you call yourself a maths coach rather than a maths tutor, or do you need the word tutor in there, Jan? Because people know.
You know what? This is really important for people to know. How would somebody who's looking for me, what would they type into Google? And so this will change based off of where you live, right? So I can't answer this is exactly what you should type on in because where you live. So it might be that people are typing in tuition versus tutor, or somebody is
Mm.
typing in maths instead of math. Know what the people, your ideal client, call it and call it that, regardless of your own personal feelings of how you feel about that, because you feel like you should be something higher than what you think you are. Because at the end of the day, that's us projecting our own beliefs about what it is that we do and not honoring how people are going to be able to find us. And we have to elevate how we believe about that specific job position we're putting down. So we might feel, well, I feel like I'm more like a coach. Great. Are people typing that in? Because if people aren't typing it in, it doesn't matter what you call yourself. So I wanted to be called a math gap closer. And my coach at the time said,
A
Joanne, nobody is
what?
typing in. I wanted to be called a reading gap closer, a reading gap
Okay.
closer.
Yeah.
I was going to make up my own terminology because I
Yeah.
close the gap in reading. I want to be called a reading gap closer. And my coach said, Joanne, there's not one person going into Google typing in reading gap closer. You need to call yourself a tutor, even though you're an interventionist. People don't know what an interventionist is. You need to call yourself a tutor because that's what people are going to type on in. They're going to type in after they have that conversation with the teacher. They're going to type on in, I need a reading tutor. In the US, that's what they would type on in.
Yeah.
In the UK, what would they type on in?
Yeah. Maths tutor.
Right,
But you're right
maths
with an
tutor.
S on it. Yeah. I've just dropped Dee's actual description from her LinkedIn in the chat.
And I can't see the chat because I am here. Let me do this. Founder and CEO, M Cube Tuition Key is, yeah. So a lot of this is, okay, when I take a look at the original part, I mean, first of all, how do you feel about it, Dee? How do you feel about what it looks like right now for you?
well, after the conversation of the last um 20 minutes or so, that doesn't describe who I am and what I do
It nearly
and how I
does.
do it. Yeah, but it's very clinical. It's very,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's there's nothing, I'm we want people looking for us to for it to resonate, for that to resonate with them emotionally,
Right,
and it's not going to do that in the form that it's in at the moment.
wow.
right, right. I love that. I love that. And so now there's you already know like what steps can you take to make it resonate more, because if we use words that people don't understand, it doesn't matter. You know what it says inside of my head? This is what I do as a reader. I literally do this. Blah blah blah. Like when I go to like somebody's about me page on their website and it says, I got this degree from this place and I have this many years of experience and I went to this university and I got this diploma. And you know what it says to me? Blah, blah, blah.
Joanne, I'm looking on
I
yours now.
know, I know that we're looking for social proof, but we can tell social proof through a story and a narrative. And it doesn't have to be blah, blah, blah. If they want blah, 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 they'll go to LinkedIn. Right? Because you're going to list what are your credentials. You're going to list what universities you went to. You're going to list what credentials you have, and they can get the blah, blah, blah from there if they're looking for it. But most people, when they read it, say blah, blah, blah. And we don't want them to see that. What do you think as you take a look at that? So we
So
have
I tell
passionate
you what
online
I love
tutor and
about
business
this.
coach.
It
Huh?
aligns so well with your photo. Like your photo says passion. Um,
Yeah,
and also because of the quality of your photo, it also says that you're working in a B2B level as well as in a B2C level. So
right.
you're working with that with tutors as well as with students.
Yeah, yeah.
It's clearly very crafted.
Yeah, and intentional, right? It's
Intentional.
intentional to what does my ideal client want? My ideal client wants to get found, hired, and referred. And
Right.
so if we think about what is the outcome that your ideal client wants to have, and we have that listed, if they want to pass their maths class, that's their only goal, or they want to get a certain score on their GCSE, that is going to definitely help.
I'm going to go and look at mine again now.
And again, if you are completely happy with what yours says, and your gut is saying, don't change it, keep it the way it is, then you listen to your gut and you don't listen to Joanne. So that is always my first advice for people.
It's very humble.
Um, the next part that we want to focus on is our banner image. Here, you want to select an image that reflects your teaching style, your subject matter, your brand, and you want it to complement your profile. A lot of times I'll see people put like an image of themselves over on the left-hand corner. Why would that be a problem?
Oh, I know. Dee, do you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question?
I say a lot of people will put like a picture of themselves on the left-hand corner. Why would that be a problem?
I certainly have that problem with my banner because the banner's got some text which the photo is now sitting on top of.
Yeah, like
No, yeah.
LinkedIn has its own little photo of you that goes right there. So if you put something in that spot, that's why I just have like this like geometric little thing going on, right? Because these are my brand colors for my Insider Secrets Club. And then my photo goes on top of that down here. And then it has the Your Online Presence should be getting you new leads for new students weekly. DM me to learn more. Again, call to action. Here's
Mm.
Parker's. I'm going to show Parker's. Parker Suite, an online algebra chemistry tutor. Here are his brand colors. Building confidence and comprehension for middle and high school students. What
I
do you think?
wonder.
Would you
Yeah,
hire him? Yeah, he looks fun, doesn't he?
yeah. He doesn't look exceptional. Sorry, Parker. He,
But if
yeah,
you were to compare that to people who haven't done anything, they just have
yeah,
a blank thing, they don't have any of these pieces that are optimized at all, he's going to stand out more
yeah.
for sure.
I'm searching everybody I know. Okay, look at this one. Can I share screen?
Yeah.
So this is our awesome Christopher Banham. There's a lot going on here, hey?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the extra with the website and with the email doesn't need to, because that's all in the contact info.
Uh-huh.
So that's wasted space. Nobody is going to
Okay, let's
click
not
it,
pick on
click
him. I
it.
feel bad.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on. And again, he would have to want to receive feedback in order to get that feedback,
Yeah.
right? I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at that. Because I can always find things to improve on with my own. And the people that are receiving the feedback need to be willing to be getting that feedback, right?
Yeah,
And
they
I
need to
think
ask
that
for it
that
first.
really, really
Yeah.
helps. So I know it's already 8:15, so I want to make sure that I respect everybody's time. But
I
these are
shall
some of the
behave
things that we
myself.
do inside of our Insiders Secrets Club, inside of our community. We work on making sure that we have things optimized. We are sharing the right type of content inside of each of these different platforms. We're connecting with other tutors so that we can refer each other, because honestly, you could build your entire business just off of referrals. One of the leaders inside of my community, Robert, has done exactly that. He has his entire business is just built off of referrals, and he doesn't get students pretty much any other way, because he just focuses on building those networking relationships, and it works. It doesn't have to be the only thing that we try. It's very brave of him to only have the one thing in place, but honestly, like this is amazing stuff what it can offer to us in our businesses. Are there any lingering questions that you guys have that you would like answered before we head on out?
Dee, Claire, is there anything?
I definitely want to see the rest of Joanne's slides.
I know. So I didn't realize I was interrupting so much that we wouldn't get through them.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I
I,
actually this entire training is inside of our community as well, so that we actually broke it down into, oh gosh, I think we broke it into like 8 weeks of training that we did just on LinkedIn, and to be able to allow it. So every Thursday morning we would get together for an hour. And what I did is I condensed all of those trainings, and I took out some of the, sometimes when we get off topic or those kinds of things, I edited all of that out, so that people just see like the full training itself, and then they can begin putting those pieces into place inside of there. So
So,
may, may
Joanne,
I may I
yeah.
ask a cheeky question?
yeah, you sure can ask a cheeky question.
The slides that we haven't got round to looking at yet, is there a way that you can let Julia share those with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send my slides on over to her, and I also have a worksheet as well that I created. I'll share what that looks like as well. I'll share that with her so that you guys can do some of this work as well on your own. And let me just come on over. I might be sharing the wrong screen here. Let me pull this down. Here's what it looks like. I didn't want to pull down. I'm going to try it again. Pull down. All right. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a checklist that I made for you guys
Oh,
that you'll
brilliant.
be able to utilize as you continue to um, work on your stuff. And if we're not connected on LinkedIn, find me. I'd love to be friends with you.
Fantastic. Joanne, you coming back to do another one of these? I will do my best to behave better next time.
Yes, I've got several coming on up. I think we have like 5 more of these trainings. Each has a different focus that we're going to be focusing on.
Okay, well, there's going to be ripples through the community because it was a really high value session,
Awesome.
and we appreciate it very much. Let's stay connected,
Absolutely.
and look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Dee. Thank you,
You're
Joanne.
welcome.